You're tuned in to Career Currency with Kareem Perez, a podcast for people who are interested in unlocking their potential and increasing their professional value. Here's your host, Kareem Perez.
Okay, welcome everybody to another episode of the Career Currency Podcast, the podcast for people who are interested in unlocking their potential and increasing their professional value. We bring you the best marketers, influencers, brand builders in the game who share advice on how to attract opportunities, make more money, and thrive in the digital economy. I'm your host. What's up? Kareem Perez, founder of The Tech Effect, professor, mentor, and marketing and communications leader. And today's guest is the founder and CEO of Filer AI, a digital platform transforming real estate closings through AI-powered solutions. She has over a decade of experience in scaling startups and digital transformation, and she has led Filer's growth from a bootstrap venture to a leader in legal tech, approved by the Law Society of Ontario. She's passionate about empowering homebuyers with seamless, affordable, and transparent property closing experiences. Ankita Sharma, thank you for joining.
Thank you so much, Kareem, for having me. One thing that I would like to add is that we are also approved by Law Society of Alberta.
Law Society of Alberta. Okay, I need the updated bio.
Expanded there.
That's good. That's good. All right, well, we're going to get into it. So just tell me, right, a little bit about yourself, the business, and how it started versus how it's going now.
Amazing, absolutely. So I was born in India, moved here when I was 25, saved for, while I'm telling you, I'm also giving you my age.
Okay.
So saved for 5 years to buy my home. And in my head, it was one of the biggest milestones I was achieving. So when you are an immigrant who buys a home before they turn 30, you are the alpha in the family, which I was.
Okay.
But I wasn't feeling like that. I was feeling terrible when I was going through it. Finding a house is tough. Going through that entire process was a nightmare. And the experience left such a big scar. I am an emotional buyer. When I buy a house, I know what's the real reason behind it. I wanted to feel proud. And throughout the process, it was so opaque and chaotic. I was stressed throughout the closing.
Right.
And that led me to build a company that could solve this problem for millions of home buyers in Canada and in North America.
Okay, so how soon did the company part come? So you bought the house and were you automatically like, okay, this is crazy, I got to start something? Or was it after a while and then you kind of looked back and you were like, no, this has to change?
So the idea was planted there. It took me 2 years to actually action it.
Yeah.
But I was in a mode of gathering more data for that problem.
Okay, right.
From the closing, I basically created a folder that this is not what's right. And also all my friends who were buying the house at the same time, I was constantly more like, how did it go? How was your experience?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a potential for change? So my background, when I was in India, I helped build a company which were digitizing retail space. So the first prototype of e-commerce 15 years ago was launched by a company called ShipRocket. So I was their first marketing hire. So I built their marketing team from ground up. So I knew when you identify a problem at the beginning, the potential to grow it may take you time, but you have the potential to grow it and turn it into a unicorn company. So when I noticed this problem, that's what I saw, that it has a potential to become a unicorn company.
So is Filer a unicorn?
Now, no. We are not in 2030 yet.
Eventually. Okay, that's good. And maybe a little bit more about your background before that. So you said you have a marketing background, working in startups. Can you tell us a little more?
Yeah. So I did my bachelor's in electronics engineering. So studied there for 4 years. And this is the joke I crack, and I would crack it again, that I felt that I was too pretty and too street smart to sit behind a computer. So I did a few internships at name brands, big tech companies, and I decided that this is not for me. And I pursued my master's in fashion. So my family was pretty scarred by this decision.
Okay, yeah.
Going from engineering to a fashion school is not something that they have imagined.
Right.
What I saw, that it is a creative field, and I wanted to learn something different. Did my master's there, and then went to an advertising agency. So I spent almost 2.5 years at agencies. And at the time, digital marketing was coming up. So that was my introduction, that I had a background in engineering and I am a creating person now. How do I mix these two? Which was digital marketing was a perfect fit for me.
Yeah. Nice. And how did you overcome the family scarring part?
When the money started to come, they were okay.
Okay. Good. We might get into that a little bit later. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this real estate closing stuff, right? And what made you to think like this is the industry to innovate? Like, it's not really a popular industry. I guess legal is very serious. It's very dry. So yeah, talk a little bit more about that.
Businesses that have the most potential are the least interesting businesses. Think of industries that make the most money.
Right.
They are all boring businesses. So if you approach it with that perspective in mind, that these are the industries that have not innovative enough,
Right.
and technology can really bring that change.
So what was the biggest challenge in the start? Like getting lawyers on board, getting brokerages? Like you said, like a lot of them they kind of stuck in the way it's done, and it's something that everybody needs. So regardless, you're gonna have to get a lawyer and go through this process no matter what. So how'd you get all these? Because you have the lawyers, you have the brokers, you have the buyers. So getting them all bought into this digital product, how'd you overcome that challenge?
It is a big challenge. The reason an industry does not innovate, there are some emotional and human elements to it. Everyone wants productivity, but what is holding them back? Usually it is trust, that they do not trust an external party to come in and change things. So we talked about realtors, we talked about mortgage brokers, lawyers. They all have their own fears. Lawyers fear litigations.
Right. Yeah.
Realtors fear not having control and someone else dropping the ball and them not receiving the check. Same with mortgage brokers. So everyone is scared that, if something changes, we don't know what would happen for the next 2 months, 3 months while this change is undergoing. Change is not seamless, right? Technology comes in, they'll break stuff for a few months. Startups are not the perfect, well-oiled machine. They are startups. So this industry is very risk-averse, especially the lawyers. To buy in their trust, it has taken us 3 years.
Right.
So that was really like the amount of hard work that we have put in, that, we are a company that is good for the industry, is good for your buyers, is good for you. That has earned us a credibility and has allowed them to trust us.
And how do you build that trust, like over those
By being there
years?
when they need you.
So did you like pilot it with them, or?
We piloted with
Okay.
them. So for the first 1.5 years, Filer was a legal software for lawyers. And we were really struggling to get the volume. So if you are building an AI technology or any technology company,
Right.
you are relying on data. Legal industry is very fragmented. So we were struggling with adoption rate at the law firm. The volume was very scattered. So what we had to do is become a law firm itself, which allowed us to have that volume so that we have one less entity to sell to or convince. So now we sell to brokerages.
Interesting. And like, how do you communicate this modern tech in a way that doesn't overwhelm them? Who they're just not, again, they're not used to technology, they're not used to data. So how do you kind of break this message down and communicate the value and the necessity behind it?
I think value is, it's easy to communicate, it's easier to demonstrate than communicate.
Yeah.
So for us, like, we can give them we have a value proposition that it helps you save time, but they have to take that leap of faith. And sometimes based on, like, if you're able to earn that credibility, they're able to take that leap of faith that, okay, you're a technology company, you're going to do something differently. Let us see how different the outcome is. And outcome is very good. So after one closing, they realized that, okay, they didn't have to intervene. The closing was smooth, client was happy, then there's nothing to worry about. And that helps us overcome that barrier.
Right. Okay, so break down the actual process and product itself.
Mm-hmm.
So people will normally do it how, and then how is your product different?
Right. So if you're buying a house, your realtor would recommend you a lawyer from A, B, and C. A, B, and C are pretty much the same very similar people. One lawyer who also does family law, who also does criminal law, and
Right.
will also do a real estate file on the side because he has a law clerk who is a freelancer. So you'll receive an email from the lawyer's office that
Right.
here is a list of document. Please send it to me.
DocuSign.
No. It is an email
Okay.
with a list
Oh,
of
those are the
documents.
things that you need.
Yeah.
Right.
Attach this, attach that.
Okay, got it. Got it.
The reason I remember this in detail is because when I did my closing for the first time, this is the process I followed.
Right. So like your information about your income and your stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
all your
that
ID,
stuff.
ID
Right.
proofs, your mortgage statements. So that is getting attached there.
Right.
And that email thread becomes like 40 to 50 emails long
I
because you're
understand this.
constantly going back and forth.
Right.
Sometimes the law clerk has lost track of what has already been sent. So they will ask for that information again. So your basically communication is you're one sending all this information in an email. Sometimes that is more than 20 MB, which Google does not accept. Then you have to upload them in a drive, then share that link, then go back and forth again. You're also sharing your sometimes credit card in that information as a proof of ID. That is also sitting in someone's inbox. So those are the things that happens when you do a traditional closing. There's no centralized information. If you have a question, you're calling someone or emailing someone, and they will get back within 1 to 2 business days. The flip side, which is the filer side, that when we receive that introduction, so once your realtor makes a recommendation that Filer is a company that I would recommend, and the buyer agrees, we automatically get the agreement of sale and purchase from the realtors through their backend system. So for them, realtors, it is one click. We receive the agreement, we extract the information from the agreement, create user profile. Who's the realtor? Who's the home buyer? Who's the mortgage broker? And then these information are user profiles basically. And then we are able to share that information. Okay, these are the documents. First thing that we do is we reach out to the home buyer that we have received your file, log into this portal, upload the remaining documents. So we have 2 versions of the platform that we have developed. The early version, which is a backend, like typical your old school software, forms, fields, etc.
Okay.
The new version that is getting launched is a very AI, like an innovative communication style bot. That if you're working with the lawyer,
okay.
just enter your information, and we already have some of the information, and the remaining information is gathered based in a conversation manner.
Right. Okay.
So the bot will ask you, okay, what's your date of birth? And we have realized that the bot is also developing some personalities. That if you enter a date of birth which is like too old or too,
Whoa.
yeah, it is a lovely month, but doesn't look like that you're 200 years old. So maybe there's something wrong. So it is able to pick on those, like gather information, but also be able to verify that information. So it's basically a very, like, we have put in a human element, but in a way that is available, accessible to them anytime they want. They're not bound by 9 to 5, Monday to Friday window.
Right. Nice. That sounds really good. So what advice would you give to founders building a digital first product in an industry that's, stuck in legacy systems or just like an old school industry?
Be persistent. Legacy industries would take their own sweet time. Don't expect change overnight. It would take you a few years. So come prepared. Come with funding. Make sure that your finances are taken care of, because this would require time.
Okay, cool. And then going over to kind of like the marketing side, right? And that marketing background. So what have you used in terms of your marketing background in building the company and selling it?
I think before that, I say, who is a marketer? I think marketers are people who they are trained to pick on emotions and sell you based on emotions. With home closing, we feel that, and probably this is my angle because I see this with a marketing lens, is that is an emotional process. When you sign your agreement of sale and purchase, and by that time you move into the house, it should be a positive emotion. That I am excited, I'm going to buy my first home, I'm going to enter into it, this is how I'm going to furnish it.
Right.
So your baseline should be a positive emotion. Rather, the reality is, I don't know if I have so much to pack. and I have to arrange finances. I might be short on cash. I may not have money to buy furniture. This is the reality.
Right.
So we are able to, based on that experience, because I have gone through it, I know how it feels. Based on that, we are able to tap into that emotional zone, that we know it is stressful. And we are here to take the stress away, and we'll do everything it takes to make sure that you're not stressed about whether closing would happen or not, whether you would fall short of cash or not, because the transparency and transparency of your process is baked into it.
Right. Okay, so what does it mean to actually know your audience and understand your audience, and how can like non-marketers take advantage of that information? Like how, because you said you kind of started off as not legal, but then you turned into a legal company, so now you're targeting brokerages. So I'm assuming your kind of targeting has switched over the years.
So our problem statement has remained the same. Our market go-to strategy has changed
Okay.
over the period of time, based on where we saw the least resistance or the highest resistance. With lawyers, we saw the most resistance. With brokerages, agents, we see the least resistant. But the problem we are solving is for the home buyers. And fortunately, unfortunately, these are all there are multiple stakeholders that are involved in a transaction.
Right.
So to answer your question, how do you know know your audience? Our scenario is slightly more complicated because our audience is not, the buyer is not the decision maker here. Usually we have to convince the agent to recommend our product.
Got it. Yeah.
In a scenario where it is a simple one-way transaction, you are a B2C company. The best way to know your audience is the question is, can you empathize with the audience? Spend time with them, track them, what exactly their life looks like, how do they make decisions, and what exactly is the problem that you're trying to solve in their lives.
Right. And I guess this kind of came from, so did you do more like research and industry research, or was this more based off the personal stories and connections that you saw people going through, like you mentioned before?
So it started with personal and friends and family. And then because we jumped right into it and started to interact with... so actually, let me rephrase that. When we were selling to lawyers, we were not directly accessing that knowledge. Now that we became a virtual law firm, that feedback comes automatically to us because home buyers are coming to the platform and they are giving us feedback that, how much they loved it. Especially if it's the person who's selling the house, they have gone through the process with someone else. So they are able to see this as white and black. So they are able to see contrast that, this is how I experienced a home buying process before, and this is how I'm experiencing now.
Would you consider yourself a serious person?
A serious person?
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Because I'll say like the whole legal industry and this industry is very...
I'm an intense person.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I circle myself, I keep non-serious people around me to bring that life in me back, that, not everything is very serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. If somebody wants to pitch themselves, grow online, they're just starting something new, what's something they can try right away? Right? A lot of people are like, I have a business idea, but I don't want to tell anybody, or it's not fully formed, or nobody's going to kind of want the information I'm sharing, right? So what are some advice for people that are just starting out, trying to share their idea, or, just trying to get a start?
So there's a psychological barrier, which is difficult to overcome. Like, I don't want to share my idea is a psychological barrier. I'm not ready. It's a psychological barrier. Action, I can tell you the action, but unless you overcome the psychological barrier, you would not be able to act on it. Acting on it is go talk about it. Get on a stage, talk about it. Be shameless. Don't be scared to make a fool out of it. There are so many platforms. Turn on your camera, share the word. What is the psychological barrier that's holding you from not taking the action is something that you need to discover and then work on. No one is stealing the idea.
So what about you? What are some of the barriers that you overcame?
A lot, a lot. I think
Like, are you comfortable on camera making videos?
I have always been, like, I started my career in social media.
Okay.
So I do it on a need basis. It's not that I'm uncomfortable. If I would see a value in it, that there's something to gain out of it, I would do it.
Right. Okay.
I won't do it for the vanity.
Right. Okay. So, what are some of the barriers that you overcame or challenges?
Asking for money.
Okay. So, fundraising.
I felt people will automatically, if they like a product, they will automatically put their money on it. Especially in the investor or supporter community, right? People say, okay, this is amazing. You should do this, that. But I had the biggest problem asking them to put their money where their mouth is. And like,
Right.
okay, they would automatically do it. I shouldn't be asking for money. So I had to like really overcome that barrier. I'm still working on it. I'm still not there yet. If someone say like, if I like it, but I'm not fully into it, I usually backtrack.
Right. You usually be like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. And
If you're not into it, you're not into it.
so now you're more on, I guess, objection handling and.
I'm more, if I think I have less patience now for a maybe. I'll say give me yes or no now.
Okay. Yeah. Get to the
And I
answer
can
quick.
take the no now. I
Right,
think my
right.
psychological barrier is like I would not be able to handle a no. If I make an ask,
Got it.
you would give me a no.
So you'd rather them say yes on their own versus trying to make the ask and then risk having the no.
Yes, which is why I would not make the ask. I was like, I don't have time for a maybe and then drag this for 6 months. Either you make a decision now or maybe we circle back on that 6 months. It's not that I'm not taking it personally. It's just that let's not keep each other in the dark.
Right. Let's get to the point.
Get to the point.
That's good. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Get to the point. Oh, yeah. What I was going to say is, but from a founder perspective and like growing the business, and maybe I want to ask you a little bit about how you've been building the business and getting people and some of that stuff. But what are some of the mindsets or like challenges in terms of, okay, I'm building this business. Is it going to work? Am I going to continue with it? Did you ever think about like maybe stopping or I know you pivoted a little bit, but you ever had like any kind of psychological barriers or challenges with maybe this is not the right business or maybe I should just do something else?
No. It's been 3 years and there were days when I knew that this is not working out. Obviously, you would have several days that this like the way you are approaching is not working out. But quitting has never been the option. Is because when I started, I knew problems like building a startup takes ages.
Right.
It's
Okay.
not like, it's not a hot potato, right? You have to like really start from the seedling and then grow it. So when I quit my job and it was years, that decision was years in the making. When I'm like jumping into it, I'm going to see through it. So I dedicated
Right.
10 years for it, that whether I make or break, I'm in it for 10 years. And then after 10 years, it'll be something else.
So you quit your job to start the company?
Yeah.
Did you give notice or you just left?
I gave notice, of course.
Okay.
You can't disappear. I was in a senior position, so I had to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm leaving with things which are like, which are structured, which are solid, not
And-
leaving someone hanging.
And the years that you said it took, was that more like preparation? So I'm ready when I leave, I have like things in place?
Yeah.
That type of scenario?
Yeah.
Cool. And then on the flip side, when did you kind of realize like, oh, this actually might work? Like you're starting to get traction, you're putting this idea out there and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm onto something. Like,
It comes in waves.
did you start by yourself?
I did.
Okay. So you were
Yeah.
and how many people do you have now?
I have 5 people now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about that moment where you're like, oh, okay, I'm onto something here.
I think it came, it even now it comes in waves. Like sometimes we're like, okay, we are close. And then, so you move 2 step forwards and then you one step backward.
Yeah.
As soon as you move 2 step forward, you're like, okay, you have something. And then then something breaks, you're like, okay, maybe this requires, like, you need to take 4 steps forward, so that even if you get 1 step backward, you're still 3 steps ahead.
Right.
So it's like, you always, the reason you keep doing it is because you something that it is growing. Otherwise, you won't do it.
So what is something like, what's one of the first things that happened where you were like, oh, okay, like we're getting somewhere?
We're getting somewhere. The first thing.
Was it like signing the first brokerage, or was it like the biggest partner you've made, or?
I think those are smaller things that keep happening. But I would say, like,
Okay.
why? So we start with a problem statement that home buying is tough, and the experience between signing the agreement of sale and purchase to you receiving the keys is painful. So
Right.
that's our thesis. And when we see a validation that we solved this for someone, that's only time I would say that, okay, we are getting somewhere.
Right.
So it is the home buyer's feedback that matters the most. Other small milestone are like, they're good, they keep you, they energize you, but that doesn't mean that you're solving the problem. It's only the end user who will tell you that you're solving the problem. So it started to happen to us pretty early on. So 10 months ago, we became that B2, like we became direct to consumer, that it is the home buyer that we are able to speak to directly.
Right.
And that energy exchange between us and home buyers, where when we did something nice, they said, okay, this is my first home in this country. You made it happen. I was able to see through it. And the team was very supportive. They answered all the questions. Legal questions are, like, typically legal questions are complicated questions. And sometimes the buyer doesn't know it until you educate them. So we built a chatbot to educate them that, okay, don't worry that you are asking a stupid question. Ask this chatbot in your privacy of your home. Ask all stupid questions. Don't worry about it. And they would educate themselves and then come back for more personalized question. And then we would help them coach them. So in the process, we trained home buyers to become better home buyers for their next purchase. And that validation came back very early on in the process. Like, after 10 closing, we started to hear feedback, which are really encouraging.
That's great. It's a great story. So what's like what does the future hold? Right. So now you have 5 people. What does that look like in terms of the next step? You talked about, filers helping to make that closing process more seamless and easier and a happier experience. But is it like the education part? Is it providing more information? Is it like, where do you see the company going?
So we are still committed to that 45 days of home closing window. We have to make that very, very seamless, where the customer is entering their home without even realizing that, they have done a legal paperwork. So we want to make the legal process disappear in a very nice way, like not make it feel like it is something.
And like scale wise, is it going into different provinces, countries?
Yeah.
What's the challenge there?
Laws. So every Canadian province has their own law society. So depending how we enter it. So we started with Ontario, then we expanded to Alberta. Now we are looking at BC. And then next year we would start to look at US states. And the process in US is completely different. They do not have lawyers for closings.
No.
Yeah.
So what do they do then?
They are title agencies that does it. So probably the technology would be evolved enough that we can go and capture that market where lawyer is not required and most of the work is done by technology. So I think it would work in our favor, but there are a lot of nuances that we need to figure out before we go.
So interesting. Okay. And then one of my favorite questions about mentorship. So you started this company alone. You're leading a team of 5. Do you have a mentor? Do you have people in the industry that are helping you figure out how to raise money, how to take the next step? What does that look like for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think you can survive without a mentor. I have had some transactional mentors who came into my life to solve one particular problem. And I'm grateful. And then there are some permanent mentors that have been in my life from the business perspective. So some of my early bosses have been my mentors. One of my biggest supporter and mentor is my first boss, who runs a unicorn company now. He's also an advisor. So you need people who have done this to be your mentor. Um, any problem that you're solving, I don't think you can figure it out all by yourself. You would be too much in your head. So you need that different perspective to show you your blind spot, also call you out when you're being arrogant and being foolish.
Okay.
So I think without mentorship, you cannot grow.
Cool. Okay. And then what are you thinking about AI in terms of your product or how are you thinking about AI in terms of your product roadmap and like what's the overall hype around AI versus what's actually helpful for your users? So what are some of the things people think is great, but what do they actually really get in terms of value from it?
So I'll answer the first question, which is on our product roadmap. So 3 years ago when we started the company, our tech stack was an MVP product, not an AI product. So now it's not launched yet, but it's like we have done a beta. We are in the beta testing mode for that, which is an AI product that can interact with home buyers and agents in a conversational way, gather all their information, read documents, and create legal documents in the back end, create accounting, do accounting for the property taxes, land transfer taxes, etc. So that is what's coming up. In terms of overall AI hype, I have not seen a lot of AI products where I say this is who's gonna use it, this is so useless. Usually I'm able to most of the AI products that I've used, tools that I've used, I'm generally very impressed. I often leave with this thought that it used to take me 2 hours to do this. Now it has
Right.
taken me 2 minutes. So I don't think there's much hype. I think it is very real.
Okay, cool. And then for people earlier in their careers, right, just starting out, how should they be thinking about AI as a tool? Because a lot of people are like, hey, I might lose my job. AI is taking over. So how should they be approaching it?
Interesting question. I was listening to a podcast by Jeffrey Hilton, the godfather of AI, Nobel Prize winner from our proud Toronto.
Okay.
He was saying every job will be replaced by AI. The only jobs that you need to think that would not get replaced is being a plumber,
Trades, yeah.
trades.
Okay.
But I think this is
Do you
something.
think that's true or?
He's a smart guy. I think the word has validated it. I think we don't need to see ourselves as task doers. I think we should be more like task creators. If I can generate 50 tasks that AI can do, that doesn't replace me as a doer.
Yeah.
I want to be that person that creates work, not that does the work. So if a student is thinking that AI is going to replace him, he won't have jobs. Maybe they need to think of this as that I have these assistants. They can do anything I want. Now, what do I want?
Interesting. So is that more like getting the AI to replace your tasks or?
Yeah. Tasks that you do not like to do.
Okay. Interesting. So, and have you built a custom AI for yourself in any of these platforms?
I'm not smart enough to build. I'll say I've done engineering, but that was ages ago.
Okay.
But there are such amazing tools that are already in the market. Like you just need to keep your eyes out. Like for example, like what exactly do you need to do? Where do you spend the most time and hate doing it? For me, I would say like presentations. My husband jokes that, are you building a company? Are you building you keep revising your
Presentation after
keep revising your
presentation.
fundraising deck? I do not enjoy it, and this is not the best use of my time, right? If I can tell
Right,
someone,
okay.
here are my ideas, give me a nice presentation which represents the brand, and I'm able to give you commands. Like we do not. I'm like more smarter than Like, I don't want to use my hands. I want to use my brain.
Right.
So if I can tell someone to do something, I would rather do that.
Right.
But I need to be clear enough in my commands. What exactly do I want? So if students can think that, they are being replaced, I think they just need to feel a little secure that, they are smarter than these bots.
Right.
Yeah.
So spending time on the ideas and let the
Yeah.
AI do the execution. Okay. Any habits or routines in terms of like staying ahead, or you said you listened to is it Jeffrey Hilton?
Jeffrey Hilton, yeah.
Yeah. So any tips in terms of like staying ahead of the game or like getting competitive advantage?
I think podcasts or like listening to thought leaders is important to see where exactly is what exactly are they thinking. Sometimes we think like AI is a threat, but maybe it is one way of looking at things. How do you change your outlook? So some habits include like, reading some good news, positive news. How's AI, like what is the potential of AI? But exactly not AI per se, but see where is the world going? As an entrepreneur, I see problems everywhere I see.
Right. Okay.
So it's not difficult to identify problems that I can solve with AI. So if you surround yourself with people who also think like that, it is a very good routine to be in, like brainstorm on ideas, even though if they're not related to your business. So I spend a lot of time talking to my husband, who's also in the similar field, on what is happening in the industry. And sometimes they are
Similar
debates.
field, how?
So he is in AI compliance. So how do you build?
Oh, really?
How do you
Okay.
build AI?
Ethical
Yeah.
data
Yeah,
protection,
yeah,
privacy. Interesting. And how long has he been in that?
So he has been in it. He's been in tech consulting, like security field for
Okay.
the last 12 years.
Okay.
In the
okay.
last 3 years, he has focused on AI.
Interesting. Tell him to come by. Let's have a little chat.
Yes, he's an interesting, and he's much more lively than I am.
No, you're lively. We're laughing the whole time here. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Moving on to a couple of hot takes. So tell me, what's your favorite food when you're going out to the restaurant? What do you like to eat? If you had to eat one dish for the rest of your life.
Falafel shawarma.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you vegetarian?
I'm pescatarian. Yeah.
Okay, nice,
So it's either sushi or falafel shawarma.
Nice. I'm vegetarian too, so that's blessed. I love falafel shawarma. Favorite place to travel
Italy for food.
and fashion?
Uh,
What food is in Italy? The pasta. I guess everything is pretty
Everything
good there.
is like you
it's
walk into a
different
place.
taste,
I
yeah.
think the place has people, because people love food so much, so they cook with food. So even if you walk into a small uh, not a popular place, you would not be disappointed with food.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Love Italy. Favorite app?
So these days I'm obsessed with an app called Reclaim. It is a
Okay.
calendar plus task management. So every time I have a task, I just throw it in, and it'll find a spot in my calendar when it thinks that I can do this task.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Never heard that one, but it sounds good. Recommended book?
No, I'm not a book reader.
Podcast?
Podcast at times, yes, but not like generally browsing. Not a loyal podcast fan.
Okay. Well, what's the one you mentioned earlier? The AI guy.
Joffrey. So he showed up on someone's podcast. Who that person was? Oh, the CEO Diary.
Okay. CEO
Yeah.
Diaries. All right. Last question. Word of advice for someone starting off their career, just starting off.
Take care of your health and be physically and mentally fit, and put 100% of your best self into work. Give your life, and for the next 10 years, commit your life to work, and then you are okay.
Okay.
Commit.
Love that. All right, Ankita, thank you so much for coming by the podcast. There you have it. CEO and founder of Filer, giving you information around AI. She's changing the whole real estate game. Love what you said about the audiences and knowing your audience and sticking to your problem and solution, focusing on your problem statement and making sure that experience is kind of top of mind when it comes to growing your business and scaling your startup. But there you have it, another episode of Career Currency. Thank you so much for coming by and telling us more about AI, Filer, and everything you're doing. And I hope that you'll come back again 2 or 3 years from now when Filer is even further down the line.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed the conversation.
You're tuned in to Career Currency with Kareem Perez, a podcast for people who are interested in unlocking their potential and increasing their professional value. Here's your host, Kareem Perez.